Welcome to the Blogging with Michael show. This is Michael Savoy, and I'm your host every Tuesday at 11 a.m., where we talk about blogging, social media, getting published, and all kinds of other good stuff. And as you can see, I got my Pure Leverage t-shirt on, and if you go to leadgentoolbox.com/FB group, you can join our Facebook group there. And well, we do all kinds of good stuff over there, so you can check all that out. Now, I've got a PowerPoint. Let me get it open here, and I'm going to be discussing. In fact, if you go to bloggingwithmichael.com/blog, there's a post already there that you can look at that has the video as well, and it's going live at the same time. So those of you who are watching, hi, how you doing? And those of you who are listening, hi, how you doing? It's nice out today. It's probably going to get into the mid-90s again. And of course, when it gets into the mid-90s and it's real humid like it is, we usually have thunderstorms. But it shouldn't happen until long after the show is over, so you don't have to worry about the power getting shut off in the middle of the broadcast. There's nothing more irritating than that. Although I do have my cell phone handy. Oh, and that reminds me, first thing we should always do is take the ringer off. That's right. We don't want to be interrupted in the middle of our broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to set up the slideshow so that we can do this for you. Okay. And what we're going to be talking about is how to get ideas out of your head and somewhere. It doesn't really matter where, as long as you get them out of your head. Because the whole thing with, well, we'll get into it in the presentation. All right, let me go ahead and share it. Okay, so here we are. I've only got 5 slides. I mean, I could have gone all out and done a really long presentation, but I really want to make sure that you see what's going on. And I'm going to be going into some other programs. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and fire one of them up now, so that way we've got it available to use when it's time. Okay. Now, kindling for your thoughts. I use that because, first of all, kindling is something that you use to light something up, right? If you want to light a fire, you need some kindling wood, which burns easier than the big wood, and that gets your fire going. But at the same time, I wanted to use a play on words about the Kindle, which I think that's kind of what Amazon was going for, was the fact that you could use the Kindle for publishing, and it would ignite your thoughts. Anyway, the whole thing here is getting articles, blog posts, and books out of your brain and out to the rest of the world. Because, come on, you know you've got a book inside you. I mean, everybody has had life experiences, and basically everything that you've experienced is possible, for you to share with other people. Okay? There's always somebody else who may be coming into the same situation that you've been through, and you've already succeeded at making it all the way through, and they need your help. So that's why it's a good idea to have a book, or even blog posts or articles. I mean, it doesn't have to always be books. And I'm going to be showing you some software that will help you with writing in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be a book, but it can work with books as well. So anyway, that's slide 1. I managed to use up a few minutes just on slide 1. Okay. Now, ideas and stories need to be shared. And why would that be? Well, I've found that keeping ideas in my head ends up stagnating my thinking. It's like, oh, I really like this idea, but then I don't do anything with it. I don't write it down. I just keep it in there. And after a while, I don't even remember it. And that really sucks. I mean, you have an idea, but then you forget all about it. Or you have ideas, and then they sprout into bigger ideas and bigger ideas. But because you don't take action on them, you stop believing that these ideas are, that you should even bother with ideas because you don't do anything with them. And eventually you'll stop having those ideas. So you don't want to get stuck with, leaving your ideas there in your head. You got to have them out of your head, onto paper, or into your word processor, whatever it is, get it out there. The more you share your ideas and your stories, the more you find you'll have to share, because you're going to constantly be creating more. See, by using the ideas that come into your head, you're actually exercising that portion of your brain that does all that thinking, and it will continue to do the creativity, because that's what we all need, is some creativity in our minds. So, some of the different ways that you can publish your ideas are, first of all, blog posts. I mean, if you're listening to Blogging with Michael, you should probably already have a blog or be thinking about having one. And doing the blogging thing is real easy. I mean, to me, it's been one of the easiest things I've ever done in all my online time. I mean, I've run traffic exchanges, I've had a list, all that, but it's still not until you actually do a, you have a blog where you're actually putting out your thoughts on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it is basis that you do. You want to make sure you're getting your info out there. And to those of you who were waiting for the chat to open, I finally opened it up so you can actually get in the chat and follow along. If you have anything you want to talk about, you can bring it up there. Now, blog posts are great, and then you've got articles that you can write and post them to article sites. And if you become a prolific enough writer, it's not hard to conceive that you could actually become a writer for other sites. Because as long as you're doing a good job, you're keeping your spelling, in check, your grammar's good, all that stuff, that's all good stuff. And the more of this you do, the better. Now, another thing that goes along with this, with articles, is Kindle books. Because Kindle books are basically books that can be read online. So it's all of the electronic stuff that you can be using to get your thoughts out of your head and out to the rest of the world. And the good part with Kindle books is you can make money doing it as well. I mean, if you get 35% commission or royalties on books that you sell for under $2.99. So if you're selling a book for 99 cents, let's say, you're going to get roughly 35 cents each time one of those sells. Now, once the price goes up over the $2.99, then you get 70% royalties, which now all of a sudden is a little bit better money, especially since your amount that you're charging is higher, so you're going to get 70% of a bigger amount. So it's all pretty cool. Then again, you can go to create space and create a physical book as well. And of course, published by a publishing house book. And there are basically good and bad things about all three of them. The Kindle books are the easiest to do. Create space is also easy, and it's a good way to have a physical book to give to people or sell at events or trade shows or whatever. Those are good. And then you get published by a publishing house. There you're looking at more money because the publishing house will help you to a point with an action plan for you to follow to get more sales for your books. But the whole thing is get your ideas out of your head. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's a concept that I've used a few times, especially when I was looking to just get ideas out. And sometimes I didn't know what I wanted to write about. I just started writing. And free writing is a great way to do that. What you do is you set your little timer on your phone or get yourself one of those egg timers. Set it for 15 to 20 minutes. And then just write. Write until that timer goes off. Don't worry about sentence structure, punctuation, any of that. Just write, get as many ideas out of your head, and let the ideas flow. And something that you might run into while you're doing this free writing is you might say, well, I can't think of anything. Well, write that down. I can't think of anything right now. I can't believe that I'm here writing about not knowing what I should be writing about. But I know that eventually I'm going to come up with a good idea about writing because that's when my brain has been working. And you just keep writing all this stuff down. Don't worry about, you misspelled writing. Keep going. And eventually you're going to start, your mind will start heading in different directions and you'll find some cool stuff to write about. And then you can take those free writes that you've done. I recommend saving them all because maybe not everything that was in there was usable for you on that particular topic you were working on, but maybe you had some ideas in there that you could use later on. So free writing is a great way to get your mind back into your writing, and that to me is important because if I've got some ideas stuck in my head that I didn't realize was going anywhere, or all of a sudden I'm starting to write and it's like, oh, I can't remember what it was. Just write anything that's in your head, and sometimes it'll flush out those ideas. Plus, sometimes it'll also help you come up with some stuff maybe that you'll be writing about in the future. So always keep that stuff in mind because you never know. Okay. Then there's journaling, which is similar to free writing, except it's something that you want to do every day, where you just get yourself a book, or you can use Notepad, or this new one that just came out called NoteLocker. And I'll put a link to that on the show page later on about NoteLocker. But it's a little notepad-like program, but it gives you more flexibility because you can format your text if you want, and it lets you save it right to your Google Drive so you can access it later, and you don't have to have it all on one computer. So, you know, the journaling is good too, because you can go back through your journal and look at back at what you've written in the past, because there may have been something that you really had a great idea on, say, September 12th. So, wow, this is great. I'm going to write about this. And then you never get to it because, you know, you forgot all about it. But as you're going back through your journals, say, oh, that thing I did on September 12th, I've got to go ahead and start on this. And then you can go ahead and do your writing. Now, something that I've been using very recently that to me has been really helpful, and that's Epic Content Machine. And I'm going to be heading over from here. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean with Epic Content Machine. But here's one of the screens, which is the Content Wizard. And what I did was I put 5 amazing things you can do with content, and then I chose 5 for the number of paragraphs I'm going to want. Now, in reality, I would want 7. I want an opening paragraph and a closing paragraph, in addition to the 5 amazing tricks that you can do with content. But since I did only 5, then what you do is when you click next, it brings you to here where you just put your main ideas for each of the paragraphs. So I would put trick 1, trick 2, trick 3, trick 4, and trick 5, and then I'll show it to you in how it works. Now, the version I have is called Blog Marketer, and it's pretty cool, but the main part that we want is the content creator. So let me leave this presentation and head over. How y'all doing? We'll head over to the content manager, and as you can see, this is the main screen for Content Manager. And the cool part is you can just click on Add and add new content. And let me show you that. Let's see, can you see it? Yeah, there it is. Nope, you can't see it. All right, let me close this and go into the content editor so you can see that one. Okay, and now this is the content editor, and then you can name your content like blogging with Micheal, publishing edition. And then basically you can just type to your heart's content in here, and then just click on Save Content to save it. And this was done manually. Now, if you have different parts that you want to do it, you can even curate stuff using this, which is pretty cool. And then what you do is you copy and paste your curated content, and then when you save content, it takes you back to the other screen that we were just on. Let me take you there, in which case then we would see the curated content. Now, I didn't actually do any of those because that's not where I was heading with this anyway. But the content wizard is the one that's really nice, because to me that opens up a lot of doors. Now let's open up the screen share for you. I should just share part of the screen. I think I'll do that, because let's see, can I just do a window here? Let's do full screen. Hopefully I won't set off any major issues. Ah, that's scary. All right, let's close that window. There. Okay. So as you can see, here's our screen here, and then this is the content wizard that I just opened up. And what I would do is type in whatever my idea is. You know, for your main idea for what the story is going to be. Now, here's where it's actually a really good idea to go to the headline wizard first. Okay. Now here's a good one. Here, 40 great movies made better by adding Godzilla. Okay. Now, first of all, you can imagine, you know, the types of movies that you would run into that you needed Godzilla. But let's say that you were writing about food, and you say recipes, 40 great recipes made better by adding garlic. These would be recipes that didn't originally have garlic, and now we've got them. Okay? And then you would just save that and close it, and then you've got it available to use again. Or, you know, 5 well, right now I can't think of. Oh, yeah, there we go. I have TTT recipes made better by adding images. Okay. Copy that. And I'm going to save and close because I don't want that open. Now, there it is. 5 great IFTTT recipes made better by adding, and then we can't see what the rest of it is, but if we were to open the content manager for that and click edit, then it would be there. But what I'm going to do is paste it here. 5 great IFTTT recipes made better by adding images. And then I would put 7 there because I want an opening paragraph and a closing paragraph. And then, you know, first of all, you know, explain IFTTT. Then recipe 1. Recipe 2. Recipe 3. Recipe 4. Recipe 5. And finally, tie it all together. Okay, then we click on Next. Now it wants us to flesh out our ideas and turn them into sentences. Well, because eventually we're going to end up with 7 paragraphs. Well, since we're here on a show, I'm not going to do that now. So what I'm going to do is click on Next. And now it opens it up into a bigger screen. And here it says add at least 3 sentences to connect each sentence together. So basically, once I've created a sentence with explain IFTTT, I would add 3 more sentences to get to the point where we're talking about recipe 1. Okay? Well, I'm going to go ahead and save and close that. So now it's in here under wizard. See that? It says content method was wizard, and the first part is explain IFTTT. Now if I edit that, because I actually have to select it first and then click edit, I'm going to paste my title for it there, and then save it, and now we can exit. And as you can see, now it's here. Now, you can actually take advantage of this software by going to the cheating wizard, and let me switch back from the screen share, and we're going to head back to our presentation. But you can see how this software could actually help you with writing a blog post or stuff like that, right? Now, the blog marketer version that I use, take it to the dashboard, and let me show you that before we go to the presentation. Okay. All right, as you can see, this, if you go to, so I put the link on bloggingwithmicheal.com/blog. On this post, there is a link to the Epic Content Machine. Now, the software that you buy will only be the content wizard, or the content machine itself. You will have the ability to purchase an upgrade to the blog marketer version. Okay. The cool part with blog marketer is it lets you submit articles, you can submit infographics. See, the cool part with this content creation is it doesn't have to be an article or a blog or anything like that. You can actually create an infographic. You can create a PDF that you can submit. You can make a podcast like I'm doing right now, or a press release. And then once you've posted to your blog, now you can submit your RSS feed, and you can also submit to the social bookmarking sites, and then also submit to your social networks. And then I recommend creating videos with your content. That way you've got additional content that you can post on YouTube and a lot of the other video sharing sites. And then there's the web directory submissions, because it's a good idea to be in as many places as possible. Now we've got research tool, which is kind of nice. It lets you spy on your competition, and to also let's see what all it does. Yeah, there's a social intelligence where you search for your keyword, and it'll bring back all of the mentions to it on other places. But then you get the spin wizard, which helps you to spin your content. Now, I highly recommend, if you're going to use the spinning, and you can do spinning right in your Epic Content Machine. However, you do need to have the API from Spin Rewriter. So I recommend you get an account with Spin Rewriter so that you can use that. And the cool part with that is then you can use the same content you've created multiple times, so that when you submit it to all these other places, it's going to be different. Okay, so let's go from there back to our presentation, because the next part is taking it a step further. Alright, so we've talked about getting our ideas out. And this is where you can get Epic Content Machine. It's linkdynamite.com/Epic Content Machine. Okay. Now, Kindle publishing. I'm not going to talk about CreateSpace and using a regular publisher, but I will talk about Kindle publishing. And a buddy of mine, Ben Schaffer, has been publishing on Kindle now for a while. And he's gotten his publishing to reach the point where he's making over $300 a day on Kindle. And that's remember I was talking about how you can start off at 35 cents for each sale of your book? Well, you also get paid when people borrow your book. That's right. When you're, and this just blew my mind when I found out that people borrow your book and you get paid. See, the Amazon Prime members can borrow books on the Kindle, and they get it for 14 days. Well, it's they pay the author every time somebody borrows the book. Can you believe that? So I've had a lot of people that didn't buy my book, but they borrowed it, and I got paid. It's freaking awesome. I mean, think about that. Anyway, and the whole reason I even published a book was because of this Target Override program from my friend Ben Schaffer, because he had been doing this for a while and created this course to show other people how to do what he did. And I really did not know about the borrowing thing. It's still exploding, the mind-blowing thing. All right, but if you want it right now, Ben is offering his course now. When I got it, the price was $4.97, and right now you can get it a lot cheaper than that. I'm not going to say what the price is because you may end up getting it at a little bit higher price than it is at this moment, but I'll tell you what, it's still a bargain, because with everything that you get in Target Override, you can create yourself a significant income from publishing. And if you were to use the tool that I just showed you, the Epic Content Machine, to do one paragraph each day, right? Imagine how quickly you could have a book written. You only need about a dozen paragraphs to make a decent book. You just have to plan out what you want it to say, and I recommend outlining it. I mean, that's a good way of making sure that you're showing the good stuff. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the members area of Target Override. There it is, members area. Log in. Okay. Now, let me share the screen for that, because I want to show you how much information you're going to get from Ben for doing this, for helping you get a Kindle book published. I know I just turned off screen share. Sometimes it just takes forever. All right, so let's share that screen. Okay. And I purposely am not sharing the top of it because there's some password stuff up there. But there's you get a bonus PDF. Okay, Module 1. It's an intro, and it really covers the magic process of the whole Kindle publishing thing. The beginner section This is to help you get yourself set up. There's, because you have to create an account with Amazon for Kindle publishing and all that, so that it goes over that. Now, here's the important part, the researching for a killer book. Now, he gives you access to some software that lets you search for book topics that are currently selling well on Kindle. And so you don't want to go into a subject where there are no books. I mean, yeah, you may hit a home run there, but the chances are pretty slim, because that means there's probably not a whole lot of people searching for that particular topic to begin with. Okay? So, you want to do the research, find one where you've got some really high, some books that are really high up on the list, and that they're selling pretty regularly. So that's going to tell you that you're in the right niche. Okay? Then you're going to create your masterpiece. Now, this goes over a few different ways of creating your masterpiece. And the one is, you write it yourself. Two, if you have an idea for what you want, but maybe you don't know anything about that topic, well, then you outsource the writing. And then you have somebody else do the writing for you. They'll ghostwrite the book for you, and you get your name on it, and you're the one that makes all the money. Now, it does cost you some money to do that, so that's something that you want to keep in mind. Now, in the creating your masterpiece section, and the really cool part with this is everything's on both video and PDF. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like to read directions, then you can watch the video. And Ben goes step by step, shows you everything that you need, exactly how to do it. So it's very well explained, and if you're the type that doesn't like to wait for a video to get to the point, and that's got the PDFs there so you can get to where you need to be. Module 5's uploading to the Kindle, and in the Create Your Masterpiece section, they actually show you how to format it properly for the Kindle. But once you've done that, let me show you how it looks. Okay, you've got your video side. It's got all the different things for video. There's extra resources. You've got the PDF, the basics, how to price your book, what's Kindle Prime. And see, if I reread this one, I bet you I would find that that's what they were talking about, the lending of the books. I must have glossed over that section. But you've got both the PDF and there. And then, of course, there's the printer-friendly versions as well. Go back. All right. And then the next one is getting golden reviews, which is important. If you want your book to sell really well, you need reviews. And Ben goes over how to do that. Now with Kindle, you get a page from Amazon that it's your author page. And all your books will go on there. But you want to make sure that you get traffic to that page. So Ben goes over how to SEO your page to get the best traffic. And then Module 8 is on marketing your book. I mean, this is pretty interesting because you need to be able to market your book to be able to sell more copies, right? And then there's the back-end profits, where if you set up your book correctly, you can have products in on the back end that you can sell and make money on autopilot as people are buying your book. They go to, they get to the resource section and buy your coaching or other things. And then you get the Kindle Power Suite software that lets you track your sales. And then Module 11 is how to optimize your sales and revenue. Excuse me just a second. I've got to pop a mint in my mouth, otherwise I'll keep on coughing. Now, I'll sound funny, but I'm sure you'd rather me sound funny than be coughing all the time. And then there's a whole module on outsourcing, because you're going to need to outsource your cover art and all that stuff. Again, it's really easy. I didn't have any problems getting my cover art done. It was quickly done, and it did a really fine job. And then some alternative steps. If you find that maybe you weren't crazy about one way of doing it, there are other ways of doing it. And then the Kindle Power Suite. Basically, Ben really went through this and gave some really good information. I mean, even in the beginner section, it goes into setting up your KDP account, intro to KDP, how to get paid. It's all pretty important stuff. And it was very easy to do. And that, I think, is what you should really keep in mind, is that if you follow along with this, you can end up publishing your books very quickly, very easily, and be able to get those ideas out of your head. Because it's nothing worse than when you've got these great ideas, but the only place you have them is in your head. So, the whole thing is get them out there, get them into a book, even have somebody write it for you if you need to. And it's really not that expensive to have that done. Okay, let's head back to me. How you doing? Okay. Let's share the PowerPoint, even though there's not really any more slides, but actually, that's what I'll do, is I'll share the Windows Live Writer. Now, a lot of people ask me about publishing their blogs. Now, there's only a few platforms that don't allow publishing with Windows Live Writer, but I have a feeling that that's going to change. It's going to get better. Oh, there's something that is really interesting, and I really got to show you this. Yeah, I see a lot of people doing Teespring's campaigns on some of the NFL groups that I'm a member of on Facebook, and it's amazing. A lot of these guys have these groups just so they can try to sell those T-shirts. Unfortunately, a lot of them are complaining that they're not able to sell as many shirts as, well, they're not selling any, because with Teespring, you have to basically set up a certain number of sales before, and I know I can show you this. This is something that everybody's got to see. Okay. All right. Let me log into Teespring. I'll open one of my accounts. Okay, now click launch a new campaign. And now I need to share it with you so you can see it. And here we go. How you doing? And here. Okay. As you can see, the minimum, well, here it's saying 50 shirts is what you're going to sell. Now, when on the next step, it'll let you change that. But if I want to use my own graphics, find one. Let's say let's just do this one here. All right. I'll just use their library. Since it was Memorial Day yesterday, do the flag, and that's it. Okay, as soon as we added the flag, the price went up from $5.75 to $9.15. Still $9.15. If we do a black and white, it's a little cheaper, $7.30. So as you can see right away, as soon as you go color, it makes it a little more expensive. Let's see, football. Anyway, all right, so let's just go with this emergency cross. And we could add text if we want, but okay, there we go. I'm gonna move it. Okay, so let's say that that's what we want to do here. Click on the neck now. See, we can choose different shirts. We've got a Hanes tagless T-shirt, which is the budget-friendly one. Then there's some different types of T-shirts that you can use. You can go with long sleeve, camouflage. See what that would look like. Doesn't look too good with something like that. You'd have to do it in an inverse color. We're going to stick with our basic tee, and you can actually use different colors. All right, let's see. At white, it was $7.30. Color, $7.80. Now they're saying if you're going to sell it at $15, you would make $7.70 per. Now, the thing is, we don't want to do 50 shirts because you have to wait until all 50 shirts are sold before anybody gets their shirts. So let's take it down to the bare minimum, which is 10. All right. Now we're only making $6 profit per sale on these $15 shirts. We could, if you really want to make sure you sell it, drop the price a little bit, in which case you're only making $1 per sale. That means basically it's $9 per shirt. So as you can see, it doesn't take long before the price gets out of hand on these shirts, which means, you know, obviously if you go 400 shirts, you start making more per shirt, $8.65. So delete that. But then you can add different shirts, and it'll tell you what the profits are for them. Okay, so that's what we were talking about here. Now, if you go to this, the link that I have here on here, where it's linkdynamite.com/t-shirt store, there are no minimums, which is pretty darn awesome. Now they'll give you, training, webinars, and everything you need. But the cool part is that they're reliable, and they'll let you do images like this, where there's more than 4 colors, and the pricing is pretty darn good. Let me find where they go over some of the numbers. Now the other thing with this is it actually lets you create a whole store to sell your designs. And when one person buys a shirt, they get it shipped to them. And I mean, it's pretty cool. And they have all different sizes, colors. There's 150 different blank items available in multiple color sizes, or multiple colors and sizes. And they show you set it all up, so you can add your own design. This is the gadget that you would be using. And the cool part is you can actually do the side panels on your shirts or on the collar, even on the sleeves, which you can't do on Teespring. And also you can do PC mice, glass cases, your phone cases, you name it, they've got them. But the cool part is they got this drag and drop designer, so you can just create your cool designs and then set up your price. Now this is what's really cool. All right, they've got NFL football licensed stuff, so that you don't have to go paying extra for the licensing. They've covered it for you. So, I mean, to me, that makes it all worthwhile right there. And then on top of that, you can have discount coupons that people can use on your store. Okay, here's the wholesale pricing. All right, even at full color printing, that's $10 per shirt. All right, we didn't have full color printing here. Let's back up. Come on. Let's get rid of this. This was just 4-color. Now that was at 450 shirts. Let's see what it's going to be like if we go to 10. As you can see, it's $14 for a 4-color shirt. It may look like just 2, but there actually it's 3 colors. But that's $14 for a t-shirt. Here, you're using more than that, and it's $10 per shirt. And again, you can sell them for whatever price you want. Now, dark colored shirts need more ink to be able to, cover up the coloring. So that's why they're $15 per shirt. So those would be a little more expensive. But the good thing is, you can sell them for whatever price you want, and you don't have to have any particular amount done. And it's totally white labeled so that you can put your logo on your page, and nobody will know any different. And you get you get to join this Facebook group for support. And they use multiple different kinds of printing. You got screen printing, digital sublimation, wide format, promotional. So you can actually have banners and stuff done, and posters. You name it, you can get it done. Even get stuff embroidered. And it's a one-time payment of $47 to get set up for your own store, be able to sell these t-shirts. So, I mean, you can make that back by selling, what, half dozen t-shirts? And I know for a fact that the NFL stuff will be worthwhile, that, because just getting licensing for one shirt is incredible. I think it's more than the $47 right there. And they already did the work for you. So, I mean, it's a nice little deal. So, the link for that is linkdynamite.com/t-shirt store. And it's going to be on a, the price is going to go to $97 very soon. So I recommend, I mean, this is actually before it even goes live, because what they're going to do is they're going to be starting it with the price at $47 and then going to go up every sale. So why not take advantage of that now? Okay, so the show's about done. Time for us to call it a night. I really appreciate you watching and listening, and we're going to see you next week again, where we'll talk about some more about this stuff. There's always something new to talk about, so heck, who knows what we'll talk about, but we'll try to find something exciting. And if you have any questions, just go to reply-to-Micheal.com and leave me your questions, comments, all that stuff. All right, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week on Blogging with Micheal.
10 seconds.